Hi everyone. So we're starting with marketing management, the next chapter after financial markets, and we're going to discuss about what is a market, what is marketing, who is marketeer, what can be marketed, and what is marketing management. So when we talk about market, we have to understand the market in two sense. One is traditional sense and the modern sense. In traditional sense, market is a place where buyers and sellers meet and they exchange goods and services. So when we define market in traditional sense, we actually sometimes define it in terms of product, we define it in terms of geographical location, the quantity of product, or we define it on the basis of the type of consumers who buy it. Now, let's talk about the traditional sense of market and what is a market, and we're talking about marketing management undoubtedly. In traditional sense, market refers to a place where buyers and sellers meet. Of course, they enter into a transaction to buy or for exchange of goods and services. Sometimes it is used in context of product, like for example cotton market, gold market, sometimes geographic location when we talk in terms of national and international levels, and type of buyers like consumer goods and industrial goods. So those who consume consumer goods like toiletries etc. are consumer good buyers, and then industrial goods are for, we're talking about the equipment and machinery. Then we talk about the quantity of goods, wholesale and retail trade market. This is in traditional sense. But when we talk about the modern sense, it refers to set of actual and potential buyers of a product and service. Now, set of actual and potential buyers means what? See, if a designer shows a particular product on maybe in a online portal or somewhere, and the people who see it and the people who are ready to buy it, so actual people who are buying it are the people who are the actual consumers, and potential are the ones who are making up their mind to buy that particular product or that particular dress of the designer. The same example has been given in the book, so I just quoted the same example. Or for that matter, anything where actual and potential buyers meet is known as market. It refers to a set of actual and potential buyers of a product and service, both. What can be marketed? Anything that is of value, whether it's a product or service, can be marketed. So anything that is of value to other can be marketed. It can be product or service or a person or a place, idea, of course, yes. So I just talked about product and service. That is a basic definition, but it also includes person. How can person be marketed? How can place be marketed? Or an idea can be marketed, or event can be marketed, or organization can be marketed, or experience can be marketed, or properties can be marketed. Now, there are some examples. When we talk about the services like insurance, healthcare, online trading, etc. When we talk about ideas, polio vaccination, HelpAge India, these are all being marketed and we know it and we've heard about it. There are advertisements which come on the television about polio vaccination. Amitabh Bachchan does it. Then HelpAge India, if you actually you search on Google, you will find HelpAge India, and they keep on, initially when I was in school, HelpAge India people used to come out with various programs. They used to encourage the artists, and whatever money used to get collected through those artists, that used to go for the poor, needy, old people, those kind of people who could not actually look after themselves. So HelpAge India. Then you have place like visit Agra, city of love. Now that's again, this was one of the board question in 2016-17. Udaipur, the city of lakes. These are the things which are being marketed. When you talk about, see, I've told you about the place, I've told you about services, okay, product we already know, idea we've got. Now how is an event marketed? Like for example, if you visit Goa, okay, so if there's an event happening, or maybe a music concert happening, or sermon happening out there, so that's an event happening and that can be marketed anytime. So these are the things, these are the few examples talking about what can be marketed. Next, who is a marketeer? The person who takes active part in the process of marketing is known as a marketeer. Right word is one who is a catalyst in the process of buying and selling or exchange of goods and services. So usually seller is the person who plays a role of the marketer, because he's a catalyst, he's the one who's taking active part in selling of the products. Sometimes it can be buyer also, like for example when you talk about nuke deals, nuclear weapons. So what happens is, when we wanted to buy Rafale, we were the people who were after the other country for buying that particular kind of product. They were not after us. They were not interested. We were after them. So we as buyer were after them. So anytime when the buyer becomes more interested, like for example, limited edition. Now the buyer goes after the seller that I want to buy this particular product. My car, I have a Swift Maruti which is black in color and it's a 1 million edition. I went after the seller to sell me that particular kind of car because of some exclusive feature. So that is the time when I as a buyer became the active participant or a catalyst to buy the product, and I became the marketeer. Marketeer refers to any person who takes more active part in the process of exchange. Normally it is a seller, but sometimes buyer can also be a marketeer. That is in case of rare supply, defense deals, like I told you. We talked about referral. What is now? Next question is, what is marketing? Now, marketing is a process whereby people exchange goods and services for money or something of value to them. This is not traditional ancient times. We are not talking about barter. We are not talking about exchange of product for product. We are talking about exchange of goods and services. Of course, when we are talking about value, we are talking about in terms of money. Next comes, what is marketing management? I have not yet given the definition given by Philip Kotler. This is a general definition. It refers to planning, organizing, directing. So when we talk about planning, we talk about organizing, we talk about directing, control of activities which facilitate exchange of goods and services between producers and consumers or users of products or services. It is known as marketing management, managing the market. You must always remember that whenever your consumer says no, that is the best person whom you can convince for buying the product. So that's where marketing starts, and that's what we're talking about. When you plan, when you organize things, when you direct and tell what is to be done, when you check everything and you actually make the exchange possible. So this is an introduction to what is marketing management. Next, we are going to talk about the features of marketing management as well as the functions of marketing management. So like I told you that we are going to talk about the features of marketing management then, and then the functions. So we are going to start with the features of marketing. First, we need to know the definition of marketing. Say the marketing definition emphasizes on many different things. The definition which I gave you was introductory definition, that was definition 1. Now this is the definition 2, and it includes or it talks about the concept of marketing, including the features. Marketing is a social process. Now we're talking about the people and the society. So we're talking about the social process by which individual group obtain what they need and want through creating an offering, freely exchange, so there is no compulsion, product and services of value to others. Now, what exactly do we mean by social process pertaining to the society? Process by which individual groups obtain what they need. Now what's a need? Need is basic is what? Like for example, if you're hungry, what do you need? You need food. And want. Now what is want? Want is when your need becomes specific. It is a desire state. So for example, if you're hungry, you need food, you can eat dal roti, and if you are in northern India, that is, you'll eat dal roti. If you are in South India, you'll eat more of maybe sambar chawal or something like that, or idli or dosa or something like that. But when you're in northern India and at that time you want to eat something specific, like you want to eat chole bhature, so that's a very particular thing that becomes specific, that is not your daily routine, and you want to eat that becomes your want. You want to eat a pizza, you want to eat McDonald's burger, you want to eat Burger King, and I'm feeling hungry with it. So these are your wants, right? Through creating an offering. Now, how do you create an offer? You create an offer by talking about the availability of that particular thing in a particular place. You create an offer by telling about the price. You create an offer by creating the demand for that particular product, features, quality, and of course, everything is freely exchanged. Nobody can force you to buy anything. Nobody comes, you go to a shopkeeper and you tell him that you want to buy a particular thing and that is not available. Shopkeeper won't catch hold of you, force you. No, you buy whatever I have. No, freely exchange. Whatever you want to buy, whatever is your need, whatever is your want, there is freely exchange of product and services, of course, for whatever you pay. So the value of the product, If you go to a particular store and you just like sometimes we go to these branded places and we go with our parents or you go with your parents and the mother touches the t-shirt and she says, oh, this quality is not very good and that t-shirt could be very expensive, like guess it's very thin t-shirt but it's very expensive. Mother says, no, 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 this is not value for money. Exactly the same thing. So whatever product and service you're buying, you should know the value for money. Your mom does not know that Guess has a brand value, so it may not be bothered, but then you know it. You may go for brand value, she may go for the substance value. That is how good the product is or how good the t-shirt is. So this is what, when you talk about concept of marketing, how we introduce the product in the market. Now, is marketing a pre-production activity or post-production activity? They say marketing is not merely a post-production activity. It's not that you get the product ready and then you market the product. No. Why? Because there are many things which you have to do. You have to decide the brand name before it is actually launched in the market. You have to decide the particular kind of packaging before it is launched in the market. You have to create that need for the product and identify that need before it is actually launched in the market. You can't do it once it is launched in the market and then you start manufacturing the product and then you start deciding and then who will buy the product, by what name will you put it in the market. So marketing is not merely a post-production activity. It includes many activities that are performed even before goods are actually produced and continue even after the goods have been sold. For example, identification of consumer needs, product development, you develop the product, feature, quality, everything, designing suitable package, how you're going to pack it and give it to the people so that they get attracted to it. Branding, you put a brand name that what that particular product will be called. So this is about the concept of marketing. Next we come to is features of marketing, starting with need and want. I have just told you basic difference between need and want. Need is something basic and want is something specific which you desire. But according to marketing, need has a particular definition. What is a need? A need is a state of felt deprivation or feeling being deprived of something. Unsatisfied need creates havoc in the mind of people. If you are hungry, what do? If I'm hungry, I get angry. So that's the need I have. So I need to have food. Now, needs are basic to human beings, very basic, very, very basic to any human being. Whereas wants are culturally defined objects that are potential satisfier of needs. When you talk about a personality or when you talk about a culture and that particular things becomes specific, that becomes a want. Like for example, if a North Indian does not eat a chola bhatura for a very long time, you know, his mindset gets very disturbed that I have not had that particular chola bhatura. So that is one thing which makes us very happy, the North Indians. Like if you talk about chicken, if we don't get our butter chicken and naan, we get very, that kind of deprivation is there. So that immediately, that want is always there, that our need has not been satisfied and want has not been satisfied. What do the people do? What do the sellers do? They binge on it. They actually create a demand on it. Similarly, the process of marketing helps individuals and groups in obtaining what they need and want. The primary reason for people to engage in the process of marketing is to satisfy some of their needs and wants. The focus of marketing, so the primary reason is something else, but the focus of marketing process is on satisfying that need and want of individuals and organization. So when we talk about primary reason, we are engaging in the process of marketing to satisfy the needs, but when actually we talk about the satisfaction of needs and wants, we are into full-fledged into marketing. Next is creating a market offering. Now what is market offering? Market offering refers to a complete offer for a product like or service having given features like size, quality, taste, etc. at a given price at a given location. People love to buy Apple phones. People love to buy Android, Samsung phones. People love to buy OnePlus. They like to buy different variety of things. Yes, they want to buy a particular car. Many people say Maruti cars are better. Why? Because the average is better. So size, quality, price, many things matter. And how the company or how the marketer is launching that product in their market is what are we talking about. So market offering. For example, offering a cell phone with a good size of memory, say 16 GB, camera, internet, etc. for a given price, say rupees 10,000. Wow deal. Any day, a wow deal. Available at shops in the cities or maybe throughout the country. We can say cities or we can say throughout the country is another a good deal, undoubtedly. So, a good market offering is the one which is developed after analyzing needs and preferences of potential buyers. So, once we actually see who are the potential buyers, we create a market offering, we offer to the people, people just go gaga over that product and they buy that particular product. For that matter, undoubtedly, we talk about many electronic gadgets which have been, like for example, at the time of this pandemic lockdown, many companies came out, they came up with offering the phones at a very minimal price. Why? Because everybody was using phones for education or for different purposes. They came up with very reasonable priced laptops, or maybe on some kind of installment basis. So what was that? That was market offering. They created a market for their product, what was required at that time to satisfy the needs and wants of potential buyers. So we continue with the third feature of marketing, and the third feature of marketing is customer value. What do you actually buy in the market? Customer will always buy something which is of value to him. So whatever money he's paying, he should get the product of the quality, value for money. In general terms, sometimes we use something like price spec ratio. So when we make that kind of a statement, it means nothing else but customer value. The process of marketing facilitates exchange of goods and services between buyers and sellers. Undoubtedly, buyers will purchase a product only if it is going to give greatest benefit or value for money. Now, the purpose of marketing is to generate customer value at a profit. We want to, like if I'm a seller, I want to earn profit, but if I'm a customer, I want to get a product which is of good quality at lesser price. So the seller wants to earn profit and the customer wants to have good product at a reasonable price. So you have to strike a balance. As a marketer, you have to strike a balance. The job of marketer is to add to the value of the product so that the customers prefer it in relation to competing products and decide to buy it. People buy particular brand, people buy particular kind of product. Why? Because they actually can feel the value of the product which they are purchasing, or which they are buying, or which they are consuming, or which they are using according to the money they've spent on it. So the greatest benefit, customer value. Now, exchange mechanism. When we talk about exchange mechanism, there are two parties, buyers and sellers. Now, these two parties have to have some kind of exchange. Sellers, if they produce a good and give it to the buyer, buyer will do what? Give money for the same. So the process of marketing involves exchange of goods and services for money or something of value to them. We are not doing barter anymore. So something of value is nothing else but money, maybe not in terms of real cash, but in some other terms. But yes, you get a check or you get paid or whatever it is, but you get something in value for the particular product. Alright. Exchange refers to the process through which two or more parties come together to obtain desired product or service from someone, offering the same by giving something in return. Something in return is nothing else but money. So exchange is therefore referred to as the essence of marketing. Very, very important thing to know that it is known as the essence of marketing. If you get a question, why is exchange known as essence of marketing? So you have to tell about the conditions which exchange fulfills. For exchange to take place, following conditions are to be fulfilled. First, involvement of at least two parties. There should be two parties, one is buyer and the other is seller. Second, each party should be capable of offering something of value to the other. That means if seller is offering a product, the buyer should offer the value for the product, that is money in exchange. Each party should have ability to deliver and communicate the product services. Of course, yes, if I want a product and if I am a buyer and if I want a product, so I have to tell to the seller that I want this particular product, communicate, and the seller has to tell me can he deliver that product to me or not. So both ways communication is, exchange of information is required. It cannot be one-sided or lopsided affair. If I don't communicate as a seller, people advertise. Why do they advertise? Because they communicate to the wide market that yes, this particular product is available, please come and buy it. Now, each party should have freedom to accept or reject the other party's offer. Of course, you cannot walk into a shop, or you will not walk into a shop where the moment you go, the seller puts a gun on your makes you buy things on the gun point. You would not that no, you would not do that. No ways, nothing doing. You have free will to accept or reject the offer. You want a particular product. If you want to go and buy a Pantene shampoo, and if it is not available, and the shopkeeper forces you to buy some other product, maybe wants you to buy L'Oreal shampoo, not possible. You want Pantene, you will buy Pantene only. You want Clinic Plus, you will buy Clinic Plus only. So that's your choice. You can accept and reject the offer. That's particularly and typically the choice of the buyer. The parties should be willing to enter into transaction with each other. Of course, yes, both the parties should have willingness to get into the transaction. Why? Because seller will not be able to sell the product until unless buyer is ready to buy the product. So this was all about the features of marketing. We have done the introduction to marketing. We have done the definition too of marketing and concept of marketing. We've done features of marketing. Next, we're going to go ahead with the functions of marketing, and then I'm going to talk about the philosophies of marketing. Till then, bye bye.